Hello and welcome to the Go To Driving School YouTube channel. I'm back once again today for another video and I'm joined by Lauren.
Hello.
Today is our 23 and 24 of Lauren's learning to drive journey. Lauren, so looking on from last lesson, it was it majoritively Junction's last lesson?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and we said we did a few roundabouts as well.
Yeah.
Based on your last drive, what would you like me to keep my eye on during today's drive?
I think watch gear changing down. Mainly, was it like third or second first? Or like stopping.
Got you. So remembering to drop the gear. Do you want me to give you reminders on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye on that then. Was that the bulk of the things that we're trying to put right last lesson? Would you say?
I'm not sure. I think so.
All right. Well, as we go through, I'll keep my eyes out, look for anything else. And today's plan. Did we have a plan for today?
Parking, bay parking stuff.
Yes, we talked about adding some manoeuvres in. So, I think what we'll do then, I'll take to a reasonably quiet car park so that we can. Have you done any before? Pulling forwards into a bay at all?
I think only just like going into one, like straight ahead.
Straight forwards into one. Yeah. So we'll look at it from different angles today. You know, coming at it from a right angle in almost and things like that, and then we'll look at reversing if we've got time as well. Yeah, all right then. So I think that's about it really. By the end of the lesson, what would you like to have achieved? What's your goal for today?
I think just doing that, really.
Yeah.
Like being able to do it on my own.
What, remembering the parking you mean? Or the gear?
Oh, and the gear, all that.
All right. Okay, fine. Well, even if you can't do it fully by yourself, the parking, what would you be happy with? You know, at the moment, never done it before, to being a complete champion at it, what would be a level that you'd be happy with?
Just like knowing how to do it. Not necessarily like perfect first time, but
yeah,
just at least knowing how to get in.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right then, Lauren, so I'll let you set up in the usual way and then we'll get going. Okay then, Lauren, when you're ready, we'll drive on. We'll turn, I think we'll take a right at the end. The trick to the thing with the gear is, as soon as the clutch goes down, reach for the gear. That's the trick to it. Well done. And what's the reason you signalled, just for the viewers?
Just in case them two.
Yep.
Side cross.
Awesome. Was we working on timing turning in as well to Junction?
Yeah.
Was that us? Yeah. Because what did you overcome with that? What did you learn about your timing when turning in?
I was turning like as I got to the point of turning, instead of like, or I turned like once I got to it.
Right. Okay.
Like as I was getting to it.
Got you. Yeah, because it'd make a big difference if you're travelling, depending on how fast you're going, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I was just asking because that was okay there, weren't it? Long may it continue. Anyway, when you get to the end, turn right, please. seem to be coming dead slow, didn't they, towards us then?
Yeah. It's hard to tell when to move on.
Yeah. Because they could imminently start speeding up back up then, can't they, if they're slowing down? It's like, why are they slowing down? Are they looking for an address? Are they distracted by something in the car? Anyway, Lauren, we'll get to the end, we'll turn left at the lights. Don't forget your third gear along here. Why is it important that we get third gear along here? Just so we can keep up to speed and keep the car happy and not using too much fuel.
Is it left?
Left, please, here, yeah? You okay with dealing with all this? Just let me know if you're not in good time, yeah? First gear. Oh, squeeze the brake, pop your clutch on the floor. Alright. You okay? Yeah. So why wouldn't it go in first gear then, nice and quick?
Because my clutch wasn't on the floor.
That's it. Just make sure you don't pass that solid white line. I think we're sort of at it. Cool. That's it. Was you mindful of the line as you released the handbrake?
Yeah.
What was the purpose of releasing the handbrake? I think I understand why you were doing that, but just what was going through your mind?
I didn't want to be too far away from
And did you want to make sure that you were ready to go?
it.
Was that part of it as well?
Yeah.
Because that's sometimes what I'll do, I'll release that so I'm even more ready.
Yeah.
Plan for you know, your junctions, your exits and your entries, keeping them clear and crossings along here. Clutch down, don't brake to a stop, let it keep rolling. Come off the brake. While it's rolling, keep the clutch on the floor firmly, restart the engine. From third to second and slowly coming up on the clutch. We'll engage second, not first.
Okay.
Okay? Nothing overtaking you, is there, before you speed up?
No.
Keep going, keep rolling. Okay, better to block this side slightly, if you look to your left, than block the middle, so that car can still turn in. First gear. Over to you. Don't forget, plenty of revs. Just like we did last week, yeah? Plenty of revs. We're going to take the next left into the park pub, so keep nice and slow and signal early. Yeah. Nice and steady. Nice and steady. Keep covering that clutch. Turning, keep to your own side of the road. Clutch down, pause behind this man here, but not too sudden. First gear, set the revs. Clutch down now. Set the revs, find the bite. I want you to put edge here. I want you to look right and left. We're turning right. Turning right. Turn right. Just want to make sure nothing's flying through here. People won't treat that like a junction simply because there's no lines, but it should be treated like one.
Yeah.
It's a through road that we're crossing into. It is a junction. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're hopefully going to use this bit at the back here to do some practice parking.
Okay.
Yeah, just follow it round. That's it. Cover your clutch, because at low speed you'll probably pop that down at the same time as brake, won't you?
Yeah.
And I just want you to pull forwards into a base. So bring it to a stop here. Make sure nothing behind you, just stop it. Alright, just secure the car there. They wouldn't normally stop in the middle of a car park, but there's a dead end around there, and there's not many people use this bit. You're aware of where we are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. How do you feel you're getting on so far with remembering to select first?
Not very well.
Okay, so it's right then there, I keep reminding you.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think you're forgetting?
I'm just used to like going up gears.
Yeah. So we've got to get used to that stop-start bit more, haven't we? Stop-starting. But I'll keep reminding you for now until it's ingrained. And why did it stall back there? I'm trying to remember myself as well, to be totally honest with you. Was that the...
Oh, I think I came up on the clutch before the brake.
I think so.
I think
Because you're in third still.
Mm.
And I think you just come off the clutch.
Yeah.
And you're still on the brake a little bit, because we're approaching them pedestrian crossings, and we had the junction for Lidl on the left, which you was thinking about as well.
Mm.
So I think that was something to do with it. But yeah, just put the clutch down and keep it down. Yeah. Until, and then you can always come back off the brake because it's downhill down there and it'll roll anyway for you. And there's no rush either. Remember that with whatever you do. So. Okay. Right. So the parking then. Do you see? If you look, there's a big pile of glass on that bay there, so we'll try not to use that bay. I want you to drive, because of our position, we're going to follow this road round and we're going to park into one of the bays on the left there. Alright? What's really important, do you know anything about parking? Have you watched any videos on it or anything? Forwards parking. We'll start with that.
I think we probably have.
Do you know anything, any bits and bobs that you can add into what I'm going to tell you, or?
Don't know if this is right, but is it when like a right turn or a left turn, it like as your mirror is like coming up to the line? Is that when you turn?
It can be. So forwards parking then, it's when let's say that line there, as you're driving forwards, as that line reaches your head restraint or your seat, full lock left if you want to go in them bays. Yeah. So as you look across, where does that line reach? Is it behind the headrest, behind this seat? Because this seat's about level with yours, isn't it? Pretty much. Yeah. Thereabouts.
Yeah. It's like in line.
In line. Yeah.
I think so.
So the fine tuning and getting your eye in for that will work on. But yeah, it's probably about there, or maybe just past. So you will have already steered to go in that bay there, for example. So if you steer on that line, for those watching, not this line here, but the one behind it, you'll go in that bay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me just show this for anybody watching as well. Yep, so where is it? Here we go. So forwards bay park, if you steer on that line, line 1, you'll be in between line 2 and line 3. Alright, it's a full lock. And what's really important is this space. The more space you can create, the better. And what's dead important is as you come in, low speed, as you're coming straight, you're already taking the lock off and straightening up, or else you'll end up crooked. And that your clutch goes down so that you can kill the drive to the tyres, because if the engine's still turning the wheels, you're going to be way too quick to be able to figure out, when to stop and things like that. So without going too into it, that's the main things. And then just make sure the curb's underneath the door mirror when you stop. Or if there's no curb and it's the bottom of the brick wall over there, it'd be the bottom of the brick wall.
Yeah. Or
the top of the top brick. What does that mean if it's a junction? If you see that under your, if you see, if the mirror's there and the white paint's underneath it, well today it's the curb underneath the mirror. What does that mean with the bonnet normally?
That you're in line with that line.
Yeah, so you'll have a tiny little gap, but we'll say you're at the line.
Yeah.
You're not, or you're at the curb. Basically, your back end of the car isn't sticking out. All right. So if you get asked to do this on the driving test, you will be normally asked to do it in a public car park. Okay, and the reverse one is normally at the test centre, but I'll give you more details on the test later on. Really, let's just learn the skill. You all right with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to guide you through, show you, or let you have a go? What do you want to do? What's best for you? Oops.
I think just show me. I think that might.
Yeah, I can show you. Yeah. Well, shall I do it from this seat?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll do the feet, and I'll just tell you when to steer. So as long as you're looking, yeah, that's probably a better way of doing it. So as long as you're looking around, and you know why I'm telling you to do something, that's going to work. All right. So I'll do all the feet. I'll just tell you when to steer. God, it's warm. AC, can you locate it? Go on then. Yeah. It will tell the engine to come on. Where's the air allocated to come out of based on that arrow? Yeah, these ones.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we can alter it. If we press that one, you have it coming at your feet or just up at this bend. We'll have it on that. It's up to you whether you want yours on. But I think it's really warm. I keep just thinking the heated seats on. Wow. Better turn it down so we can actually hear something. All right, Lauren. I'll do the feet then, as I said. And I'll do all the obs then in that case. Alright then, so just stay straight for now. In fact, steer right a bit just to straighten us before we turn into this left turn round here. In fact, don't steer too early because you want to turn in circle. Steer now, but kind of line up with the side of this curb on the right here. So start taking that off. So we keep this gap on the left, yeah? Now, the next thing is we'll decide on a line. Don't matter any line because we're going to be in the bay next to it, we know that. If there's cars, we might need a bit more planning. Let's go for the line... You see where the first line is at the end of the building? Not the one this side where the bin is, but the first white paint next to the black downpipe. We'll steer on that.
Okay.
So when that lines up with my head restraint, roughly, which is the best thing for you to see it as from your seat, then we'll full lock left.
Okay.
Alright? We'd also need to check if it was a through car park, that there was nothing oncoming, or nothing going to use this space that we've created on the left side.
Yeah.
So we would have a quick check in the mirror before we do it. So bear that in mind when it's coming up. Alright? So this is about the right speed. So when that line reaches, then we're going to turn level with my head restraint. So check your mirror now, it's coming up, and turn, full lock left, go. Now you will cross the line with that tyre, you have to. But think about where this back left tyre is going to end up based on our steering. You'll see it's coming in constantly. Look at the speed, look. So you might be able to still see that paint through there, I'm not sure.
No.
But because at this point we wouldn't be able to see it again.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is take a real... I'll just press the rewind button here. Do you see the lines there? Any paint at all?
Yeah.
So that's the last view of the paint that you're ever going to have here.
Yeah.
So important to remember the straight edge of that so that you know how and when to start straightening up. So let's press the forwards play button again and let's get back to where we were. So we've still got your lock on now. Keeping that lock on, keeping it on, keeping it on. And now we're going to slow it down a bit. So now the only place we can look is forward and at your dashboard.
Yeah.
At the moment, does it feel anywhere near straight?
No.
So we're going to hold that lock on for a bit longer. Hold it on, hold it on. Now here's the intricate part. And also, if you check your mirror now, you might see some of the paint behind you and in the right mirror.
Yeah.
And then look forwards in conjunction with that. Yeah, I can see your hand starting to move already. You know, don't you? So as we're going now, I'm going to make you move dead slow. Start to peel that steering off. If you feel yourself still steering, you've got another whole one to go. A bit faster, because you can see we're steering the other way now. And straighten us. And then look for the bottom house brick underneath that door mirror. And when the door mirror sits just above the bottom brick, tell me to stop. See how slow I'm going with the clutch? Yeah. So I know I can stop.
Stop.
So I've gone clutch down, squares the brake, handbrake, neutral. It's quite a nice way of doing it, that. I've never done it that way before, I don't think. But it allowed you to sort of be in the action and process of it, but without... The speed control is the biggest thing. If you're going to do... And that's the biggest piece of advice I'd give you, or anybody who's doing... Still recording. Anybody who's doing manoeuvres, speed is key. Because if you're going to be accurate, the eyes need to spot whatever it is you're going to be accurate for. But if you're too fast, forget about it. So, did all that make sense in theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're more this side of the bay, but we are dead straight in relation to the line. So if you check the gap on that side between bodywork and paint, you can see it in your door mirror. You should do. Or the other thing you could do is just point the glass down on the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you look in this one, you can see the paint as well.
A little bit.
Point the glass down a bit. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah? So if you can see it, we're definitely inside it and not on it. Now, just to clarify, if you was on it in the test, you would be okay. It's not ideal, is it? But you would be okay because you aren't over in the other way, basically. All right.
Yeah.
So based on that, what would you like to do next? Would you like to have a go next?
Yeah.
The other part of the manoeuvre then is to reverse out of the bay. When reversing, what have you learnt about where to look so far? So now we've done some reversing before.
Where you going?
Yeah. And think about, now that we're in car parks, one-way systems if there is any, and also what you're going to do next. So think about which way you want to steer before you get to the point where you need to steer. Because if you steer face that way, well, it's a dead end, you know. And but if we're going to practice parking that side, fair play. So what do you want to do? Do you want to use this section here still? A bit quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right then. And we need to think about the positioning then. So we're going to do another. Should we do another left one? Oh no. Let's steer out this way because then we can do a right park. So mixing it up a bit.
Yeah.
Steering a full lock right. But remember that. Let me ask you. What about the positioning? What gap do we need between the side of the car and the end of the bay? Small or big?
What to turn in? Big gap.
Yeah.
To turn in,
To allow for that turning circle.
Yeah.
Or else you won't get straight in time. Okay. And when you reverse backwards, are you going to be on a gradient of any sort?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for your bike point so that we can stay in control here?
Don't have it too high.
Yeah. I'd actually have my clutch on the floor here and I'd squeeze the brake. Let me just do a quick test to see if I was right in what I'm thinking. Keep everything where it is. In fact, just come off the brake but keep the clutch on the floor. Yeah, squeeze the brake for a minute. You get a roll, aren't you? So all you need to do is control that roll. Because you're only going to be reversing out here. It's not like you've got to keep up any speed for traffic or anything. Alright. Because even though you said you weren't going to have as much a bite, you're still kind of at normal bite there. So just think about that.
Yeah.
And looking over left and direction that you're actually going. Now what would be the problem in steering this early if there was a car next to us?
Oh yeah. We're going to hit.
Yeah, just something to think about. It's okay if there's not one.
Yeah.
But of course, that's why it's so important to keep looking around as well during the reversing, because you'd see it, wouldn't you? You'd think, oh, take that steering off.
Yeah.
There was a car there. Alright. So I'd straighten the car up now, I would. Or else you're going to turn early and not create that car's width between you and the bays that we talked about. This is better obs. Don't brake to a complete stop. Brake to a near stop if you need to, you know, but you might not need to. You should see the curb in the left mirror as you...
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep it coming. Because we want to be reasonably close to that curb, don't we? I'll let off that brake. I'd go full lock right now, I would. Full lock right. Anything coming from behind? No. Now, if there's... Yep, you got it. I'm going to say, for no roll, you need to... Don't press the brake at the same time, yeah? Just clutch control. If anything, you want a bit of revs. Keep it coming. Got quite a bit there. Just look where the black of the tyre is, if you can just make out the outline of the tyre. Keep it coming. This is a good speed to be able to just dip the clutch and stop slightly when we need to. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. We'll go right close. And clutch in a bit and stop there. About that much gap between the tyre and the curb now.
Okay.
Alright. Straight into first gear. Now be ultra slow and loads of lock to the left so that you allow that turning circle to the bays into the right. And again, yeah, let off the brake. If it does roll forward, great, you can just steer left into it. Ever so slow, but big steers. Slow tyres, big steers, fast steers. That's it. And hold that left on until you could become straight. Clutch in and stop, stop, stop. Easy, no rush. Remember though, as we do stop, like the junctions, we can make it really smooth. How would we do that? How do you make your junction approach smooth and so that you do get to the line?
Brake early.
Yeah.
So you can like gradually like slow down.
And as the car does slow and begin to stop, what do you do with the brake? Do you ease on or ease off it slightly?
Off.
Exactly, same here. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so, did you say you wanted to go try it for yourself, see how you get on?
Yeah.
What's your plan then? What line are you gonna turn on? So we can work out what bay we're gonna end up in then. Pop your clutch firmly to the floor. That's it, just so we're not putting any strain on the car there. Yeah, what are you thinking?
The like third one. Is that even a parking space?
The end one's probably narrower than the rest. So you're going in the last but one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So if you turned on, so if you go on the last but one, you wouldn't steer on that line there next to that stick. You'd steer on the next one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay then. So don't steer till you get there though. So stay straight, 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 and steer. Yeah?
Yep.
So before we start, usual stuff, observe all round, remember your clutch control, remember your all round obs and speed control. I'll leave it with you, unless you ask me.
Okay.
Or I see that you're in trouble.
Is it when that's in line with the head?
Yeah.
Good.
It's looking good, just keep the control. And we'll have a look in a minute, see where we are. Clutch control rather than brake. Hold it still with the clutch rather than the brake if you need. Now just look forward, just take all that steering off because you're going beyond straight to crooked. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. Another one off to the left. To the left. There. Now that should be straight now. What are you looking for with the curb in the mirror? And have we got it? Is it underneath?
Yeah. It's a bit further.
Yeah. So we could go a bit further forward, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit higher on the bike then. That's it. Right, clutch in a bit, find the balancing point. Now come off the brake completely. Completely. Clutch up a bit if you're rolling back. Now, off that brake completely. Clutch in a millimetre. Clutch up a millimetre. I want you to get used to those movements, because in these parking situations, being on the brake and the clutch and trying to find the bike while being on the brake is going to encourage bad things on junctions.
Yeah.
But also, if you find a high bite, come off the brake, surge forward into the tree.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. And hold us, if you need to hold still, hold it with the clutch first, just at least for practice purposes. Much more precise and controlled. Feels better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, once you've got it, secure the car. Cheers for that. Right, how the hell are we with the parking?
I think I might still be a bit close to that line in this one.
Do you know what? We're on top of the line on the left.
Yeah.
So, but we are reasonably straight. We might have been more crooked.
Yeah.
Where didn't you look so much? That would have.
Forward.
Yeah. So just look forward. If that car comes, so you've come in like this. So it's obviously it's crooked, 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 nearly straight, nearly straight, nearly straight, and straight. Once it's straight, if you haven't got that off, you're gonna keep steering,
Yeah.
and then you'll stop crooked. So yeah, you've got to be keeping your eye on that and just peeling that steering off at the same rate in which as you're travelling at.
Yeah.
Same kind of speed as you're moving. That's the key to that. Yeah. So that was pretty good. If we are a little bit more this side, what does that tell you in terms of steering timing? Earlier or later next time?
Earlier.
Yeah. How much? Loads or just a fraction?
Just a bit. Okay.
Can you see the line down there?
No.
Pop your, because this is how fractional it is, it's only a small amount. Just put that mirror down until you can see the white paint. Keep going all the way down. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You see we're on top of it.
Yeah.
We're not in the other way. We are on top of it. So pop that back up so it's ready for driving. Right, so reasonable progress made with this already. What do you want to do, Lauren? Do you want to keep at this, or do you want to break it up with a bit of driving in between? I just want to keep, obviously, it. What's the word? Not boring, or keep you engaged. How do you feel? What would you like to do?
Probably stick with this.
Stick with this, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm happy with that if you are. All right then. So, could you reverse us out the bay again? Will you need a bike point?
No.
What will you do instead?
Just roll back.
Oh, we'll use the bays down there,
Okay.
and you're going to steer slightly earlier than last time, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave you with it. Clutch down. Don't steer too early. Keep it straight first. Because think about where you want to land over there as well. I want that gap, don't we? That car's width. I'd start steering. About now, full lock. Make sure you're off the brake completely if you are. That's alright. You weren't on it, you were just touching the pedal, but just making sure. So you wouldn't take much brake at low speed to stop the car or add resistance. Look over your right shoulder now. Remember, like turning the road all the way over, because you'll see how far you can go in that corner. In conjunction with, yes, the right door mirror. Well done. Excellent. Well utilised there. What's your next plan?
Move forward.
I like how you tested that. And what bay, like which line are you going to turn on?
The same one.
Okay. It's better steering, good speed of the car. Make sure you got that car's width again. So if you need to use one further up, then do. So get yourself on.
Did I do that too early?
We'll see. Another factor is not having the turning circle to get it across.
Oh yeah.
It was nearly there, but it was more like a motorbike handlebar width.
Yeah.
We'll see. Now, hold it there on clutch control. Can you see in this mirror the white paint yet? But can you see the paint through there at all? If you lean over this way at all, can you see any of it? No. Does it feel right to you when you... No. What does it feel like it's going to be?
Like if we carry on, we're just going to end up like in between.
More this side?
Yeah.
Yes, good. I'm glad that you've got that feeling because it is right. What you want to do is, I want you to move forward, not yet, in the slowest way that you possibly could. But what I want you to do is, I want you to take some of that left steer off. So almost straighten the tyres up momentarily. There's a lot of steering to do in a short space of time. And then we'll put it back on. What that'll do is get this back left tyre further inwards, and then we'll bring it back across to straighten. Make sense in theory?
Yeah.
So dead slow, and take that steering off. Straighten the tyres up completely. Bit slower. Drive more forward. You won't be able to do this if there's a car in the other bay. Yeah, that's it. That's a good pace. And now full lock left. Same pace with the tyres though. And if you check your mirror, you may be able to see the paint coming in. May not. Keep that lock on. Can you see the paint yet? No? Keep looking forwards. Remember the house brick reference with the mirror? Now straighten your tyres up, don't move that clutch. Straighten up, another whole turn, clutch down and stoppers. Straighten up the tyres completely. Just clutch down when you reach that point and stop. Cool. Right. Can you see the paint now?
I think I'm just too short to see.
Do you know what? You can see clearly over there, can't you? Looking at your eye line, you're well past it.
Yeah.
You may benefit, or even still, from being a little higher. It's up to you really, it's your call with that. But maybe if you're a bit higher, you'll be able to see that a bit better. Just to confirm, the mirror is set up correctly. Can you see about 10% bodywork of the car? And the door mirror curves off and shows the handle on the inside of that curve. The inside curve. You can see the whole of the handle, and it curves underneath the handle. Yeah, that's fine then really. I mean, pop the glass down a bit to have a look. You see it now? Yeah. So did it work what I said, bringing the car over a bit more and then steering in?
Yeah.
Any faster with the car's travelling speed, you wouldn't have been able to do that. Very intricate stuff, and credit to you, we've got it done, and we are straight. We're right up to the wall, as far as we want to be. I bet you, if we still went out there, I bet you there's still a gap like that between the wall and the bonnet.
Yeah.
Although it looks very close. Is that right there? Just one house brick underneath that mirror?
It's like
1.5?
Or like it's on.
bottom of the first house brick.
Yeah.
It's fine. About the same height as a curb. Well, a curb's probably a bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we've done a bit of correction there, which is needed. It's never going to be perfect every time. There's so many different variables with these different car parks. Sometimes you haven't got the space either to create a car's width before you turn, so you have to learn. And if there was a car either side, the only option would be to reverse a bit, do a bit of steer, set up for the forwards bit, and just adjust that way. Right. So how do you feel about your forwards parking?
Feel good. I feel like I understand it. Just getting like, I was put forward. It's fine. I think turning now, I just need to like recognise when to turn.
Yeah. And if something don't feel right, do start taking the reins and making adjustments like that, because that's all you need to do really. Do you want another go?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave this one completely to you. Would you like that?
Yeah.
If there's something you're unsure of, ask me. Or if I feel I can help you, then I will give you more instruction, but I'll leave it to you. And I'll let you choose where you want to do it and how you can settle. But the bigger the gap between you and the bay, the better.
Yeah.
As long as we're not talking, you know, ridiculous gaps. Of course, that's silly then, but yeah. What would be a good shoulder to swap to right now? That's the one. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Because the further you go back, the more it's helping with the positioning for the next park, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is everything safe before we move forwards? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that'll be better. That'll make a difference, that will. Well done. squeeze your foot right first. That's it. Well, I think you already are as far forward as you need to be, aren't you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was you going to do? Find the bite? Well, you was already at the bite, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you mean for stopping the handbrake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just come
Instead of like clutch down and brake, which is what I was going to do, but you like roll back.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Because the second you put your clutch down, you'll roll, aren't you? Yeah. So keep, like you said, hold on the clutch, holding point, handbrake on, then put the clutch down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that went?
Yeah.
Very happy with that. Very happy indeed. Yeah. So you now know how to forwards park by the looks of it. Of course, we'll keep practicing it as and when needed. How do you feel about this manoeuvre?
I feel good about it.
I feel like, you know,
found like the good time to turn.
yes, got your eye in. Clearly that showed it very, very controlled and very accurate. It looked like you knew what you were doing. I love the fact that we stopped straight, as far forward as we can be. The steering wheel straight there, so the tyres are straight, ready for the reverse out. Very good stuff. The other thing then we said we're going to do is reverse park. Do you still want to do that today, or is it going to be parking overload?
Next to
Yeah.
doing it.
Did you want to go for a drive to break it up and come back, or did you want to get straight into it?
Yeah, do it now.
All right, let's have a look at it then. The reverse park then. The reverse parking, the reference point's slightly different. You still need a car's width. The reference point's slightly different. You just turn when one of the lines is about level with this handle slash button for the window. Somewhere here.
Yeah.
I used to use the door mirror as a reference on it, and I found it to be a bit inconsistent. Whether that was the people who were doing it or what, I don't know. But I tend to find that this is better, this area here, the handle slash buttons. Right, it's going to be a full lock all the same. In fact, do you want me to do the same again, where I kind of take control of the pedals? I'll get you to steer, and as long as you're looking in the right place at the right time, it'll kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that then. So I can take control of these reversals out of this bay. And if you steer to the right, we'll be facing that way then, and we'll use a bay along here. Okay. So don't steer yet. About now, full lock right. And then, yeah, full lock left. And then straight us up about there. Because what we have got to be careful of, you know, when we're reversing, is when you put a full lock on, the front end's going to swing outwards and around. So if there was a biker or somebody on foot, or if it was another lane, cars are passing, you've got to be careful that you're going to swing outwards towards their path, which is why we'll always we'll do all the usual observations and reversing, you know, obs all round and mainly looking where we're going, but we will also have a specific shoulder check at that point in time. Okay, and it's going to be over the shoulder where the car's swinging out and around.
Yeah.
So pop it into reverse. Now, because we're doing a right park, it's not a bad idea to pop the right door mirror down a little bit, because it'll just help us to see the line a little bit earlier. Yeah, so not all the way to the floor, but just off of the floor.
Yeah.
All right, and then we just need a rough idea as to what line we're going to turn on, roughly. But I mean, well, you'd need to know that if there's no cars around. For us today, we could do it on any line we want.
Yeah.
But just it's good to have a rough plan. So what should we say? Like not that line, but the one after.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to prepare the car. You'd have your handbrake on and whatnot, wouldn't you? Because you're setting up. Revs and bite. I've just got the bite, of course. It'll sound a bit rumbly because I haven't got any revs. And looking mainly where we're going in the direction of travel. And we're going to keep looking back forward for anything that could be coming. And then back over to the right shoulder, looking for that reference, that pointed turn. And at the next line, we're going to full right lock, but not until, do you remember the reference point?
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up. So quick shoulder check, Lauren. All clear, yeah? Nobody coming across the field. Back to what we're doing, full lock on. Another shoulder update. And back in the direction of travel also. Now look into the right door mirror. Can you see the turning, the travelling circle there?
Yeah.
Are we going to go over the line? Do we need to take a little bit of the steering off?
I don't think so.
Or are we going to go into the bay?
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah.
If we look in the left mirror, you see the speed control again. It's allowing you to look around. Can't see anything yet, can you?
No.
But if you start to see the end of the other bay, you know you're going to end up inside it. Have another update to the other line, because I think we might have needed to take some off.
Yeah.
Yeah? If we straighten the tyres up now, we can still do it so that if there was a car on the other bay, we probably wouldn't hit it. Straighten the tyres up completely. There. So if we travel back at this angle, and then full right lock, is the back tyre cleared the other, or is it near the line?
Near the line.
So full right lock now. And if you look in this mirror, you'll see that back left tyre and that line.
Yeah.
Looking forwards as well for when to straighten up. So we've got a straight edge in front of us. And back for the wall and any pedestrians or cars potentially that could be behind us if it was somewhere else. About there? Yeah. And then looking over the back, left shoulder. Alright. Handbrake neutral. Okay, so what that was then, what were we, a bit early or a bit late for our bay?
Early.
Yes, so what do we need to do next time with the steering timing?
Do it a bit later.
Yeah, so you're just getting the reference point right, but that, again, a bit of correction there, same again really. We want to minimise the impact of going into the other lane or the bay. If there's nothing around, it doesn't really matter, and if you know there's nothing around, but in terms of learning this skill, then we want to be trying to keep out the other bay really, don't we? Or else there's no point in, well, just could do it anyhow, couldn't you? And not learn proper skills. Right, do you want to, should we do that again, where I take the fees and we just work on the reference point? As soon as you get the reference point, I'll hand it over to you and you can have a go at the whole thing. Any questions about that as it is?
No, I don't think so.
Alright then. So just keep straight. Full right lock now. Straighten up there. Okay. Alright, so straight into reverse. Quick check around. And we'll use the next line. Not this line, the next one.
Yeah.
So when that's level with the steering wheel, let's say. Go. Now this time it should look a little bit different in that mirror. Are we going to cross that line this time? Do we need to take a bit of steering off?
Yeah. I think
Yeah?
so.
So if we take it off earlier, if we see that earlier rather than later, that's always going to be better. So take quite a bit of that steering off so that the turning circle at the moment isn't as sharp. Yeah? And is that
Yeah.
making a difference?
Yeah.
Are we still crossing the line? No?
I don't think so.
Good. And if you look in your left mirror, look forward, because you might need to sharpen that back up now so that that back end doesn't go over that line. So full right lock back on. Very good. Okay. Bit of practice out of the reference point. It would appear there's something wrong with my judgment with it, really, because I'm telling you to steer, and you are, and it's just coming too early. So I think it might be to do with the fact that we can't get as much distance as we want between us and the end of these bays. But that goes to show that you're not always going to be able to. So you have to make do. So what we need to do, we need to steer later. So if we did steer when it's level with the door mirror, let's go with that one, what you said in the first place. Let's go with that one and the next one, and that should put you right. Okay. Are you okay having a go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to help you with any parts?
No. Maybe if it's gonna go over.
Alright.
I think I might be okay with it, but just in case.
You're doing another one on the right, yeah?
Yeah.
You might as well leave that mirror set then. Yeah? Alright.
Straight into reverse.
Just, yeah, pop it straight in. Imagine it was a busy car park, you wouldn't want to be hanging around too long. It also gives a signal, doesn't it? If there's traffic following us. Gives the white lights. It there a sec. Don't forget, whenever you start a manoeuvre or change direction, you really want to be checking all the way around, you know, before you start. And when you start moving backwards, be looking where you're going, ideally.
Okay.
Or at least have had a look at that back.
Yeah.
If something's already behind you, you won't necessarily know it's you. Alright, so just the usual checks. That's it. Now that's already looking better to me in that mirror. Well done. Do you need to take any off, Lauren, or are we good?
Not sure.
Well, what you really want to focus on, your speed's fantastic to be able to tell, by the way. As you move ever so slow, where is that putting the back tyres, the back of the car? Because they're fixed, aren't they? It's only the fronts that can move the back. So if that's making the back come in to a point where it's going to be on top of or over the paint, then we need to take a bit off to move it this way to make this steer less sharp. Because we're at maximum steer at the moment. We've got a full lock, haven't we?
Yeah.
But only moving slowly and glancing in that can help you. Okay, take half an hour off, so that red band back to the top. Your steering won't be as sharp now as you go backwards. If that hasn't released enough sharpness, do another half an hour chunk off. That should be able to tell you there, that little movement you've just done. Can you tell?
Just like...
Oh, so you can't see it. The reason you can't see it is because you're on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
I thought it was like going under the tyre.
you did.
Like, I don't know, it's like the lines under the car.
Okay.
Where I see, so it just confused me.
Did you see that before it was under? Did you see that it was going to be under?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay.
So what we'll do, shall I take control here and show you what you should have done?
Yeah.
I'm going to go first gear, press the rewind button here, so I'll put full right lock back on, because this is the way that we've come in. And really the first point where you can start seeing whether or not to I think these are quite narrow bays, to be honest. I think that's just throwing things off a little bit, but again, that's what we have to think about with car parks. So anyway, just sort of check round, make sure it's safe. Right, so you see, just look in that mirror. That's the best place to look at this point. Now you can see there that the acute angle of this, it's by the time we get there, do you see it now? You're going to be able to. So what you want to do now is take half an hour off now, and now look at the angle. Is that still going at the same rate, or is that going to put you nicely inside the line now? Because if not, we'll take another half an hour off, or less. Like, yeah. Update with the left shoulder. Nothing's coming. Is that going to remedy our issue?
Yeah.
And so now what we need to do is bring it back in now, because we don't want to be over with this bay. Can you see the end of the white bays now and that? And now we can relate the two, and don't forget to look forwards later on for straightness and where we're going for safety. So a quick look where you're going behind us. I've got the pedals, so I'm all on the pedals and the control. Happy with this?
Yeah.
As it's coming, happy with that gap in between?
Yeah.
So all you've got to do now then is get this bang on. About there. Any more, I think we could be crooked. Alright. Right. Took over a little bit there just to show you the very moments that are the best to look for those things and to remedy them. Does that make sense, what we just did?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you could add that into your own driving now with a bit more understanding?
And I think I was just getting confused with the lines.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, so you think target locked on. So when you're coming in, you're looking for that line that's going to be closest to, well, if it's a right park, it's going to be the back right tyre. If it's a left park, it's going to be the back left tyre. But look for the line. So here's the lines, and there's your car. There's always going to be one line like this, whether it be this line, which one are you going to be inside of? Just work with one line to begin with, and then pair it up with the other one when you get closer, like we said.
Yeah.
So do you want to try and implement that yourself?
Yeah.
Because I think everything else, the first time we had a go, everything else is fine. It's just tweaking that. To be fair, them bays over there are better, more regular. They're more of a bigger, wider size that is usual in car parks. So I mean, we could go over that bit there if you want. Bit more room over there. You know that auto windscreen, no plugs intended, has gone. Van has gone, yeah. All right then. So we'll head over there when you're ready, and just position yourself right straight away for a reverse park into one of the bays. Whether it be right or left, whatever you want to do. Keep to the left. in case something comes round and wants to turn in. It is a junction. There is you've got to think of two-way traffic all the time, really. Yeah, so wherever you want to set up, the field is yours. Which side are you doing one on?
I think still the right.
Because is there more space on the left than the right with
Yeah.
a car's width? So it'd be better, really, setting up wise to do it on the left here. So you've got a bigger turning circle. You've got more time to realise, actually, am I going to go over them lines? Oh, I've got time to correct it with this one.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, think about which way you're going to go in based on which side you're going to position to set up. You might still get away with that, but I think you're better to do it that side.
Yeah.
But it's your choice. What would you can do one on the right or the left based on that? I think you could still do it on the right. The left, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. So do you want to put down the appropriate door mirror for the left one?
Should I put this on back on?
Yeah, shouldn't need both really. Just the one that's appropriate to the side that you're turning, because that's the corner that's going to be closest to that line first, the one that we're judging for our steering and turning circle. So yeah, I'll leave it with you. Unless anything comes up.
Don't know if I went too far.
Maybe, right? What you've got to think of with the reverse ones, just secure it a moment, just before we forget. Nothing should come, there's nothing round the corner there. I want to show you something. When you're going backwards, it's a bit different. You're quite right, because you're thinking about the van back here. Maybe you have gone too far back, but you'll be able to tell yourself in a moment. When you go backwards, you see you've turned there, and you're level with your door mirror. So that's your line 1. You've got line 2, you've got line 3, and then you've got line 4. You'll be in between line 3 and 4. It's different to when you're going forwards. There's more space required. So yeah, if you turned on even that line 1, 2, 3, you'd be in between the where the van is and that line, but that van's right on top of the paint. That big truck, so you wouldn't really want to do that, would you? I'll tell you what's probably best. If you set yourself up for one on the right,
Okay.
so you've got to get your car right across here, so that you've got a nice gap to steer into over there. So I sometimes, what I do, if there's a gap between cars, I'll drive through the car park and I'll go, right, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop my car. And then I know where I'm going to reverse into then.
Yeah.
Now if it's a busy car park.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're ready. Now before you start moving, what do you need to do?
Oh yeah.
Just good check all around here. Would you say it's because you're thinking about your manoeuvre a lot and the steps involved? Yeah, I understand. Safety's the number one though, yeah? about your mirror now. Can you see what you need to see? You might not need to put it down. And the left shoulder, any danger that we're going to swing into?
No.
So ideally we check that a bit earlier next time, yeah? Same with the parallel park when we do that one. If you get it bang on, you won't need to do any adjustment, but it's just knowing if it's bang on or not. Very good. The whole one. Do you remember when I said before to look over your right shoulder to know where the back end of the car is with the curb, like on the turn in the road that we did the other week? And when I just said look at which shoulder would be better, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
So that'll help you to get all the way back here. But obviously don't just look there, look around as well. Use clutch control, not foot brake at low speed. Unless it's downhill, which it's not. So that curb should run into that bottom apex. You see where the writing is in the corner of that glass on your door mirror?
Yeah.
Some black writing. That curb should run right into the corner, so keep going back. Also line yourself up with the blue car. Look at the blue car and think that we're about the same size. Clutch in, off the brake. No braking involved. Just clutch control. Also look across this way and compare yourself to that car. Just to get a better perspective. And then look at the end of the back end of the lines forwards. Look, you can kind of get a perspective then as to how you are there as well. So if that the end of that white paint's under your door mirror, you know your bonnet's about level with the end of the base.
Yeah.
Which may be the reason they put their caps on the end of the lines, or just to make it more obvious when you're parking as to where the line is. There must be a reason or reasons for why they put the little T on the end of the lines there like that.
Yeah.
How did you find that, Lauren?
Better. Like I understood. I didn't get mixed up with the lines.
You didn't?
And I
Knew which one target locked on?
Yeah.
You knew which one you was going for? Good stuff. It seemed that way. It seemed like you knew where you were going and what you were going to do about it with the steering. Are we inside that side?
Yeah, just about.
Just about. Now, you would have been better if you had took all the steering off. You know, when you were coming straight, your timing taking the steering off was perfect, but you only took off half a steer. Remember, a full lock right to straight is 1.5 steers. So with your hand, it's more like if you're doing half an hour movements, it would be 1, that's half an hour off, 2, a full hour, 3, hour and a half, and then the steering wheel will be back straight like that.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So that's what you needed to do. As it was, because you was a bit late, you know, and I said, oh, another full one off, because it's a bit late, we're a bit crooked.
Yeah.
So as we've gone back, we've got further to the right, further to the right, further to the right. Yeah. But I feel like we're at a reasonable place with it. I feel like you've got a good understanding now. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's a case of just practicing. Is there any bits that confuse you or any other bits you want to go over?
No.
Do you want to get into practicing it a bit more? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know if you get bored of it or anything. Alright. What's your plan then?
Probably do it on that side.
Okay. I'm going to try and avoid that bay with the glass in.
Yeah.
If I can.
So would that be turning it first? Well, I could turn it the first one.
You could, couldn't you? So
like far enough even.
yeah, oh yeah. Because if we went 4, 3, 2, 1, turn on the second white line from the hedge,
The second one, okay.
and then we'll be in the bay next to the glass. All right. Good. So do you need to reset your mirrors before you, because you're not going to be using the same ones, are you, if you're doing a left one? Because you've got your right one set, haven't you?
Mm.
You can set your left down, put your right up. Oh, did you already reset the right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Straight into reverse, soon as you stop. I will leave it to you. Before we get going though, there's something that I need to check that you remembered. What's that?
Checking the mirrors.
Yeah, just checking all around, yeah. When we steer full lock, oh sorry, I just want to confirm this with you as well. I said I wasn't going to say anything, but I am. Before you full lock left, what dangers could be on the right that we could swing into?
Pedestrian.
Have a look. Over your right shoulder.
Oh, car.
Yeah. So we just need to keep our eye on that.
Yeah.
What we might do, if we feel that we're getting close, and this is what you would do whenever, if you're in a car park, and the same if you're parallel parking on a narrow road, you'll put a full lock on, straighten it up, full lock back on, straighten it up, full lock back on, straighten it up.
Yeah.
Until you can get a full lock and swing, and no, you're not going to swing into anything. You do it in stages. So full lock, you sort of like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But check the shoulder before you put turn on. Okay.
Was the second?
Yep. Over the shoulder. Anything coming from the right? Just always keep updating, you know, when you're...
Am I going into one with that?
You are.
Yeah.
I'm glad you realised, that's why I didn't say anything. So good, that's good that you've realised. And you know what? Look at that turning circle, it's dead good. If that gas weren't there, no problems, we'll go straight in. And I don't think, maybe you'd have to take a little bit of steer off just before we get there. But no corrections really, just to make the turn less more shallow, the circle. Shall we then go back forwards? It's just good practice anyway, just trying to get the turning timing down.
Yeah.
So clutch down, pop into first, back to where we were, but we'll just steer a bit earlier. Yeah?
Yeah.
Check around before you move forwards, make sure all the angles are covered and nobody's passing us from the left or right. Pedestrian or car. Yeah, we turned on line 3, not line 2, that's all.
Yeah.
That's it wouldn't matter, would it, if the glass weren't there. But... Right. So you alright with this?
Yeah.
Yeah? What shoulder are you going to check just before you turn?
The right.
Good stuff. And before you move off, what are you going to check? Why are you checking it?
Just to make sure there's no one like around.
Because if there was, you want to consider whether to reverse back or not, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Don't know why I turned that way.
I don't either, right? Do you know what? Just think, which side do you want the back end to go? that way or that way.
That way.
So steer that way. That's the way to think of it. Pop it back in first. We'll hit the rewind button, back to the start, and we'll just learn a little lesson from that. Steer the way you want the back end to travel. Nothing passing us, is there, before we keep moving forwards? So again, really, we want to check there before we move off, just because there is a possibility. There's 2 cars back there. People could jump the fence over the park. Pedestrians could walk towards us. I think you used to be able to walk through there. I don't think you can anymore. You still jump. I could easily jump that. Check your right shoulder. Good, yeah, very good. Lovely. And now we're looking around us, that right sector. All good?
Yeah.
Nothing developing, good. That's lovely, that is. Remember to look at the end of the lines, cast your eyes all the way down the end and to the end there, look, see? You can see that you've got quite a bit further to go back there. Cheers. Well, based on where you were, let's say an hour and a half ago, or at the beginning of the session, to where you are now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how, not that we're ever going to say that you're a perfect parker, is there such a thing as it? What would you scale your improvement on knowing nothing about parking to being able to park? What number out of 10 would you say would you give this improvement? In terms of skill, understanding, knowledge of what you're doing?
Like, 6.
It's got to be a 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the point is, we've not gone from not doing any parking to actually not just parking, but you understanding what you're doing and being able to judge it, make corrections, and still end up doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
How would we make that more of a... Alright, let's stick with your 6. How would we make that a 7? What could you add in here? What about safety? We focused a lot on accuracy. What could we do to make this manoeuvre more safer?
Just checking my mirrors.
Just check around a bit more during the manoeuvre.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I have to remind you sometimes the shoulder check, or what's going on down there? Anything developing over that right?
Yeah.
You know, he could have been, if somebody sat in there eating the dinner in that big van, could have finished the dinner, off they come. So you just want to keep up to date with it all. Checking before you start, and you know, if that car, you see, we're a bit late checking with that, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if that car was further back, we might have been a bit closer to it. And we was close, but it was okay. But it's definitely something that you want to think, well, it's all right being accurate with the manoeuvre, but if we hit somebody or something on the way in, then that's the whole lot of it's no good, basically. And in terms of like the driving test, that's the number one. Again, is the safety. Yes, the accuracy is important, but the good thing is the accuracy hasn't been too much of a thing to get, has it?
No.
You've really built on that, so now we can start adding in the observation, and the more manoeuvres we do, they're all kind of the same observations anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not massively concerned, but that's how we'd improve it, really, apart from just practicing. So we've got about 20 minutes left. what would you like to do next? You want to do more of this, or do you want to get out and drive and practice the remembering to drop the gear thing?
Yeah, I think go out and drive.
Before we finish, yeah?
Mm.
So let's see if before the end of the lesson, and there's no pressure, it doesn't have to be, but it would be nice if you could majoritively remember to select that lower gear yourself.
Mm.
Remember that when you get to the bite, I'm just thinking about like the lesson before, well, last week's lesson I was working on. Don't rush at the bite. Increase the revs, slide, dig, freeze.
Yeah.
No rush. Because I felt you once or twice today just come a bit quick on the clutch.
Yeah.
It was alright, but we don't want that to set back into the drive, do we?
Mm.
Okay. But I'll be giving you reminders anyway. But what happens normally when I'm giving reminders, people start doing it anyway as I'm saying it, or just as I'm about to say it, and then I think, yeah, this person's starting to fit into their general driving, and that's what I'd like to see with you, as I'm sure you would. All right. So we'll stick sort of high streetish, so it's lots of stop-start stuff.
Mm.
If you want to reset your mirrors, let me know if you want to look at this as a recap next lesson.
Yeah.
And we'll drive on when you're ready. This is a two-way car park, so what side of the road, even though it's not marked, will we be sticking to?
No.
Yeah. If we come to something like that, is that a junction?
Yeah.
It is. It's not marked, but look at the way the curbs go off and there's a through road in front. It's like a T-shape again.
Mm.
If we need to, we'll pop a signal on. We won't do the whole mirror signal manoeuvre on approach, but if we get there and we see cars or people that could cross or cars that could move, there is cars on the left as well,
Yeah.
put a signal on, just to clear up which, because we could go right or left.
Yeah.
It'll just help people to make better decisions earlier. Same with us. Alright? Same with all car parks. Unless it's one way, or even then I'd signal for pedestrians sometimes,
Yeah.
just to let them know you can carry on walking because I'm going that way. I'm always a bit suspect about this junction, so we'll be turning left. We need to be careful that there's no pedestrians on this pavement passing the entrance to the pub.
Yeah.
So proceed with caution. The first giveaway would be the pavement, and well, as always it would be, but even more prominently here, the pavement than the road, obviously. Do signal left here in case something turns in straight away. It knows we're turning out of then. Clutch down, keep with the curb. Probably wait for these pedestrians, to be honest, otherwise it could be a bit awkward. You know, if our back end's blocking their walkway and we see them coming, there's nothing behind us, no reason for us not to gently pause there. Okay, so at the end here we'll be turning left. Anything coming on the pavement this way, over the hedge, any runners, bikers, and to the right. Get all the way to the giveaway here. Keep rolling. Could we go if this is holding traffic? Revs on, look forwards as well. Okay, good. Quite lucky there, sometimes could be there a long time. Alright, so trying to keep the flow of the traffic going, keeping up to speed, checking your mirrors. Upping the speed a bit more, Lauren, a bit more, a bit quicker, a bit earlier, basically. Flow of the traffic in front, looking at your speedometer, looking at the road behind you in your mirror. That's better. I can feel us speeding up now with some conviction. Keep checking your speedo and seeing if you can pinch an extra couple of mph based on the traffic in front, based on the speed limit. What is the speed limit?
30.
Yep. Doesn't mean we've got to do 30, but if we can, we should.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this bus, Lauren?
Might not well.
Yeah. do if it's safe to do so,
Yeah.
but we don't have to. Right, if the bus, okay. So let's take at the roundabout. We'll turn right and do a U-turn. It'll be all the way back round.
Okay.
Yeah, is that all right with you?
Yeah.
So it'll be fourth exit. So it's like a right turn setting up for.
Okay.
So mirrors and signals, positioning across early before somebody else does.
Is it?
Right, I'm like. Do you want help with the approach or?
No.
Okay.
Be alright.
All right. Nice one. First gear before you forget. Very good. Well done. Left signal. Check your left mirror and your centre. You see the white car coming in with us on the left? How could we have made that car aware sooner that we were going to come off the roundabout?
Signal.
What would take in your concentration?
Just turning.
Yeah. I think you'd have felt more comfortable if the car was helping you pull a bit in second.
Yeah.
Try and go in second.
Forgot.
Yeah. Do it on the straight bit, on the approach into the roundabout,
Yeah.
before your hands are busy holding the wheel for the turn. Bit sloppy there from the Enterprise driver. So if we do stop, are these lights going to change? Do you foresee yourself stopping here?
No.
Alright. When you do, think about all the things that might entail, such as first gear. Just give you a little reminder again at the roundabout. Not bad with the approach, you seemed fairly calm and knew what you were looking for. Got it going, even when there were cars coming. It was good judgment, well done. So if you slow down here, you might have to drop the gear a bit. Or you might not. I'd drop to second probably. Just for down this hill. If the clutch goes down, make the left hand reach for first at the same time as the clutch goes down. Go. You've got more time to decide what you're going to do with first gear then and bite point, etc. So it works nicely, that does. Do you foresee these lights changing? Yeah. Keep the speed coming though, because otherwise it's like we're waiting for them to change.
Yeah.
And they will change. So, and do you consider yourself stopping to stop here? Sorry. Rubbish English there. What are we checking for on the left then?
Cycle.
Okay. That's it. Keeping up with that traffic then, within reason. Trying to look ahead for what the van might end up doing. Obviously we don't want to speed up if we know they're going to, if the first car stopped, there's no point speeding up. So it's that fine line between, if you do stop, or nearly stop, don't forget, straight for first gear. first white line, left hand reaching when the clutch goes down for first gear. Is that what you were going to ask about the lines?
Yeah.
Always at the first white line, unless I'll ask you about that in a moment because I'll distract you if I ask you now. I'm going to turn right at these lights, so if you pop a right signal on. We might not be able to turn straight away, so we'll wait in the middle turn box unless we can turn straight away. Yeah, so lights are on green, so we'll move forward to the point of turn like I would a normal right turn. Get yourself over a bit more. That's it, all the way in the box, and then steer out with the bend of the road, clutch down. Pause there, don't go any further forward. Alright, feet setting up. You're still in first, aren't you? After this white one, what do you reckon? Yeah, don't rush your feet. Plenty of revs though, Lauren, yeah? Make sure you can hear them. So how do you feel you're getting on with remembering the gears?
I feel like I'm a bit better. Just need to carry on. I think I did like once or twice.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to pick up on it. I see it improving. I'm still reminding you, yes. And that's okay, you know. Because those once or twice will become 3, 4, 5, and then consistent. Turn left. When your clutch goes down, what do you need to remember to select?
Yes.
Okay. Not too early with the clutch, though, eh? That was perfect, really, in every way. That, what you've just done there, in every way. So selecting first that bit earlier will let you get settled with your feet as well and be much more comfortable, have a second to spare, let's say. That was quite a nice one, that. Had the revs on and everything. And we'll be turning left. Is it the next left that we normally take? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, so what you're going to select as well. Did I spot that before you?
I think I was going to start.
Okay, good. Okay. What are we checking for on the right? And the left, yeah, to be honest. And yeah, just put up in the usual place. Nicely done. Very measured. Very good there. Right. Pop the... no, leave the engine on for a sec. We'll leave the aircon running. Despite how it looks, it's quite warm, I think. Anyway, How have you found today?
Good.
And your goal at the beginning was to do what by the end of the session?
Remember the gear change.
Any improvement from where you are right now to where you were 2 hours ago, do you feel?
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Should we continue where we've left off next lesson with me still reminding you?
Yeah. I think so.
Next lesson, I'm guessing there's going to be a point where you know what's coming next. You know I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to do it every time. So what I might start doing is reminding you a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So you have got a chance to. But we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely keep on that, because that's I think that's helped everything.
Yeah.
Get it when we did that junction, just that helped that junction. That did for sure. How do you feel you got on with the parking? Because you said that a nice goal as well would to be able to do the parking. Did you exceed your expectations with that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. What, if anything, could we do to improve that? Forward
Just,
and reverse.
just checking around more. Like checking the mirrors before I start reversing and stuff.
Pretty much. And if you want to consolidate what you've done with that, with the parking, there's lots of videos on Bay Park. There's the video with Jack actually, which we recorded in the same place.
Oh.
So if you wanted to consolidate any of that, then you can. Remember, with your reference point now, we tweaked it slightly. We said it was the door mirror for reversing that we're using now,
Yeah.
with the line. So yeah, any thoughts or any final thoughts really? Anything else you want to go over, or?
I don't think so.
Brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. Do consider sharing the video. Give it a big thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below. I'll be answering your questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.